Good morning. A little morning hors d'oeuvre for you. Am I trying to fill you up? No. Am I trying to make you hungry for more? Absolutely. I will totally admit to that. Today we're going to talk very quickly about Genesis and the fact that you have read about Abraham offering up Isaac. It seems to be that up to this point, God keeps testing Abraham, and sort of every hurdle he keeps jumping, God then brings him closer. Makes more promises, right? So first he asked him to leave his family and his land, and he did. And then he asked him to circumcise himself and all his family. Well, that was a big one. And he did. And then he says, listen, I know I've given you this son, but I want to make sure that your heart is more for me than it is for this child. So I'm going to ask of you to offer this child up as a sacrifice to me. We have a really hard time with that. I'm sure Abraham did too. And the interesting thing that I want to make sure that I draw your attention to is the fact that when Abram takes Isaac to what essentially becomes what we know as Mount Moriah, or is today the Temple Mount, when he's going and he has his servants with him, he makes a very interesting comment. He says, you guys stay here. We're going to go up there and offer a sacrifice, but we will return. So it tells us something about Abram's mental state, even as he was beginning to go offer his son up on this mountain as a sacrifice. In fact, Hebrews 11 tells us that he considered that God was able to raise people from the dead, from which he received him back as a type. So that in Hebrews lets us know that the Jewish train of thought was the fact that Abraham knew that he was the promise. He literally got God, everything God had told him was based on this boy. So then it couldn't happen if the boy didn't exist. Therefore, he thought he was going to see a resurrection. Okay. Hope that brings some insight to what you're reading. Hope you have a great day. If you have not bought the Bible Journey or the Unboring Bible Journey, and you still want to follow along with us, if you go to planetintheword.com, you can actually just download a check sheet, and follow along with us as we read through the Bible. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.